What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of High Heat arriving in theaters and on digital and on demand December 16, I'm here talking with one of the stars of this new film, Kaitlin Doubleday. How are you, Kaitlin?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Congratulations on the film. Thank you for taking the time. I watched High Heat recently, very much enjoyed it.
Oh,
Um,
great.
yeah, your character, Mimi, is definitely not the one in Empire, right? It's completely, completely
Definitely a different kind of person.
this is this is unlike any role you've ever played. This action ass kicking Van twin mom who shared a past with an ex KGB played by Olga. How fun was it for you to play this character? How physically demanding was it?
It was super fun to play the character. I love the storyline. I love that she was so different and unexpected. You didn't expect her ex KGB agent to look like she looks today. I love doing the fight scenes. I had never done anything like that before. So learning the choreography and just coming in on the days off and just really making sure you knew it, because I knew that Olga is so talented at this and she's done that so many times. Like, I didn't want to be like the newcomer who was going, oh, sorry, I messed up. I messed up. So I really definitely made sure that I knew everything as well as I could. And the stunt girls were so great. And I felt comfortable, and Olga was totally sweet and so talented. And I loved both aspects of it, being able to be funny and ad lib and create a weird little life with Chris Diamantopoulos, and then being able to kick ass and learn those amazing fight scenes with Olga. It was awesome.
Yeah, let's talk about that fight from the restaurant, inside the restaurant, going on to the kitchen.
To the
So that was a very entertaining. But let me ask you this: I know you mentioned stunt work, and I
Yeah.
noticed it. But for the shots that you were in, I mean, how many takes was that? A lot of difficulties. Were there any injuries? Talk to me about that.
No, there were no injuries. Thank God. This is a small independent movie, so we didn't have days and days to work on this. This was all shot in one day. That fight scene was maybe half a day of work. And we learned the choreography on our days off and just came into work when we could to practice with the stunt coordinator. And then you shoot it in chunks. So you do that first scene when she walks in and, she's like, hi, I'll have a Chardonnay or whatever. And that first thing where she grabs her arm, that you do that till she jumps over the bar and slams her here and there. And you go back and forth. You do that 10 times. And you move on to the next chunk, do that 10 times. But I think the very first bit of action I shot on the film was when she catches the knife and goes, which I thought was so funny. And we got it in the first take, but it was good for me to watch the playback, so on lots of shows, they don't do that anymore. They did it when I started 20 years ago. But on a lot of shows, not movies, they don't allow you to watch playback because there's not enough time. But they allowed us to look at stuff a little bit on this one, which was really helpful because you don't know how out of breath you look, or if it's a big enough reaction, or it's hard to tell until you see it and you're like, oh, I could tweak that and change that in this way. So it was definitely like learning on the job.
Yeah, your dynamics with Chris was also razor sharp, if I may say, and deeply amusing. Your
I
arguments
know, right?
between Mimi and Tom, your characters. Now, people always tell me like, "Why aren't you married? Why aren't you married?" And then I see Mimi and Tom, like, "Do I want to get married?" But let me ask you this, Kayla. What's that?
Who wants that?
Exactly. Why would you want that? So, Kaylin, what was your process with Chris in creating that bitter, resentful married couple chemistry?
It was just fun when both of us, when we got to New York or Connecticut, wherever we were, we both said that when we read the script, both of our favorite parts of the script was Mimi and Tom's dynamic. We just thought it was so strange, so different. It definitely was veering away from the regular part of the movie, being an action thriller. And then when I saw their character, what they were wearing, like the pearls and what my daughters were wearing, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, we can make this very stylized. It looks like a Wes Anderson movie, inside this movie. And Chris is so funny and can do every accent and every character and every, he's just such a quick improv person that he was like, let's just play around with it, because they had changed something in one of the drafts of the scripts, and him and I were like, we really liked the other stuff, can we bring it back? And Jake, the director, was so sweet, and he was like, yeah, like, do whatever you want, you guys are professionals. If you want to add some stuff back in, we can always cut it out later. So we got to play around a lot, and they kept a lot of what we put in the movie, which I was really happy to see.
So what do you think Mimi and Tom convey about relationship? What is the takeaway? What lesson can couples everywhere learn from Mimi and Tom?
Well, look, they do come back together in the end, So if the woman is saying the man needs to take charge, no matter how domineering she may be, he needs to take charge. And he took the initiative by shooting that person down while she was going to meet Olga's character, and she came back and they kissed for the first time in, I don't know, years.
That's lovely.
Take some initiative.
Good.
Whatever that may be.
Fun question. Do you think in an alternate reality or another life, Rhonda and Mimi could be friends?
Could Rhonda? Oh, I feel like Rhonda would just hire Mimi to do things for her, for sure. She's like, oh, you're a KGB agent? Can you take down this mom at my preschool that's eyeing my husband? Kill her. I think Rhonda's the kind of person that would do that. So yeah, she'd probably love her. And she'd have enough money to pay her to do her dirty work. So
exactly. I love that show. All right. Final question. What's next for you, Kaitlin? And are you gonna stay in the action genre for a while? What's next?
I don't know. I don't have anything coming out recently anytime soon. So nothing. I would like to stay in this genre for a while. I've had such a blast. Maybe this will help me get another job that looks a little bit more like this.
Awesome. All right, for my fans at home, everybody go check out High Heat, arriving in theaters and on digital and on demand December 16. Kaitlin, thank you for taking the time, and congratulations.
Thank you. Bye-bye.